Hi everyone, Peter Trego here. Another edition of the Clubhouse coming to you from, unfortunately, my office, not a nice wide open space. Unfortunately, we're all in this lockdown situation. Again, the message is stay indoors, look after each other, wash those hands and keep everyone safe. Today's a real treat for me, being a bit of a football man. We have got none other than King of the Jungle, football legend, Mr. Harry Redknapp. Welcome, Harry, and thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. How are you?
I'm okay. Obviously, I'm on week 2 of insanity. Even the Hawaiian shirts are coming out now just to try and brighten the day up. But
No,
yeah,
we're all okay.
it's strange times though, Harry. How are you? How are you filling your days at the moment?
Well, we're okay. I mean, we sort of. I like to do a little bit of keep fit. You know, sort of 11 o'clock ish or whatever. I get up early anyway. I'm an early riser. And then we take our dogs for a walk, normally about 4 o'clock, up past 3, 3:45, whatever, for an hour. But I'm lucky, Pete. I mean, you know, I live here. We live on the beach, you know, and so we can walk for miles. And it's just fantastic, really. You know, it's not a hardship. We can go out and have long walks. And so, yeah, that's what we, you know, we just got to get on with it, haven't we? We've got no choice. I mean, we've got to stay in. You know, we're allowed that one walk a day, which we have. Other than that, we stay in and, you know, abide by the rules, watch films. I watched a good film last night, really enjoyed it, Hotel Mumbai. I found it really, that was an unbelievable experience for them. I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, it's obviously a true story from what happened back there, you know, in Mumbai. I think it was 2008 or 2009. Amazing film.
I'll tell you what, Harry, you wouldn't believe that when that got released on the Sky Store, my son was just about to go on tour to Mumbai with Somerset under-15s, and my wife banned the watching of it. So I haven't watched it yet, but thanks for the thanks. I'll tune now that he's back safe. I'll certainly tune in.
Well worth a look. Really gripping film. Yeah, amazing. Oh my God, that was scary.
Yeah, definitely is. But we're in a different kind of scary time now. But one of the things I have noticed around the area, I live on the coast like yourself in Weston-super-Mare. How polite everyone's being at the moment in the shops, on the streets. Everyone's. I can remember 20 years ago, you know, going out for walks with my nan, and it was good morning, good afternoon. It's almost coming back a little bit, and it's
it is.
You know, in times of times of trouble, the old good old British, you know, vibes back, I think.
It is, yeah. I know. I've noticed that big difference for sure. I mean, we have to keep away from, you know, away from each other. But everybody you walk past, you know, good afternoon, good whatever. Everybody says hello, and yeah, and I think that's good. That's going to be good. I think people are starting to take in, you know, want to talk to each other again instead of just walking by with their heads down. It's nice to see people sort of taking a bit of interest and caring about each other.
Now, talking about taking interest in people, it was a year or so ago when you became King of the Jungle. I've got to just tell you a little story what happened in the Trego household, and it took me a while to sort of register this had happened. My daughter is now 18. She was probably 16, 17 at the time, and during the sort of semi-finals going into the final, she stood up, announced to the rest of the room, if Harry doesn't win King of the Jungle, I'm never watching this program again. And that's a 16, 17-year-old. How have you managed to connect with, you know, so many different generations? Is it just your natural way, or do you?
Pete, it was a shock to me. I mean, I'd never seen a minute of that show. I'd never ever seen a second of it. So I had no idea what I was doing and going into it, really. And even about 10 days before I was due to go in it, I went and played golf with a couple of friends of mine, Kevin Bond, who worked with me at Tottenham and everywhere, you know. And I said, I'm supposed to be doing the I'm a Celebrity, Kev, you know. He said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, but I'm going to pull out, so I don't fancy it, you know. He went, no, Harry, you've got to do it. What an experience for someone your age. He said, it'll be amazing. What are you doing? He said, it's winter time. You can't play golf every day. The weather's, you know, go and do it. He said, you'll love it. It'll be. So I did. I went and did it. But I'd be honest, I thought I'd be out very early. I thought the voting even started after the first day. Someone said, well, people vote and someone comes out. I thought, well, maybe I could be out in 1 or 2 days and we could have an holiday in Australia, me and Sandra, you know. But no, I was there to the bitter end. It was amazing, really. It wasn't expected, I promise you.
No, it was great. It was great to watch, and like I said, you've certainly transcended football with that award, and certainly made me jealous. And actually, you have no idea actually how many husbands out there you've put under the pump. The way you speak so fondly about Sandra. I used to have
I know. Listen, I'm not at all I'm really not that type of. But yeah, you know, it did. What happened? I think really when Sandra came in, she'd had sepsis, and then she'd had it twice actually. And I said, look, if anything's wrong, I'm out of here straight away. You better let me, you know, don't. And then when I was told to go down, and one of the producers, you've got to go out of camp. I thought, well, no one's ever been out of camp. You're not allowed out of camp. Why are they sending me to see the producer? And I obviously thought something was wrong, and I was expecting, you know, the producer to tell me Sandra wasn't well. You're going to have to get whatever. And there she was. So I did get a bit overwhelmed, I must admit. It wasn't like me really, but no, it was good to see her.
Yeah, I had the look out the corner of the eye. You know the one. It was like, you never welcome me in that way. Thanks, mate. Yeah. I've been under pressure every time since. But yeah, just talking about the jungle and obviously this crazy situation we're in now. Do you think that sort of experience prepared you for, this isolation?
It has in a way, Pete. It has in a way. You know, you sort of. There's nothing to do really when you're there. I mean, it's boring. I'll be truthful. When you're in there in the jungle, you know, you're sitting there all day, and you're quite happy to go out and do a trial just to get out for 2 or 3 hours to break the day up. Even if the trials were horrible, whether you had rats running over you or whatever, at least it got you out the camp for a couple of hours. And it's a bit like that here, really. You're sitting here, but I mean, listen, we're not that bad off. We've got television, everything, but. It is quite long days. You've got to, you know, you look forward to that. I look forward to that 1 hour walk. Absolutely love it. You know, I really don't want it to end. It's nice just to walk the dogs and, you know, me and Sandra go and have that nice walk every day. It's something to look forward to. But yeah, I think it did prepare me a bit. I must admit, Sandra's cooking's a bit better than what I was getting in the jungle, though. That's the difference.
I was going to say, you know, in terms of reality TV, I quite fancy, you know, the SAS sort of stuff. That's more up my street. The thought of eating, like mashed down slugs and all those kind of things absolutely does me. Which leads me on nicely, though, because you brought back a bit of a British famous, the old jam roly-poly. And I noticed on your social media, the old banana loaf was cooked recently.
Yeah, Sandra made that yesterday. Oh, yes. And there's not much left of it, Pete. I've got to be honest. Every time I've walked in the kitchen, I've cut another big slice off and woofed it, you know. I love it. I like cake. I'm a big cake eater. It's not good for you. But I'm lucky. I'm quite lucky with my weight, really. It doesn't vary too much. I don't put too much weight on, you know. So, and I'm not a big eater, but I do like cake. If she makes a cake, I'm into it, you know. So, I tell you what was interesting, Pete. I see, you played football at Margate?
I did, yeah. Yeah,
you played for Margate?
I played probably the first, I reckon, 8 to 10 years of my professional cricket career. My winter job was playing in the I suppose what would it be now, the Panorama Conference, South.
The old Summer League.
I played. Well, my first sort of season for Western when I was about 16, 17. It was called the Beezer Holmes League back then. So it was awesome. Loved me football. Never quite good enough to crack the big time, but loved it.
I actually went. The funny story. We went to, when you look back on it. I saw Jimmy Tarbuck a few weeks ago, and at Kenny Lynch's funeral, we were having a laugh after the funeral and chatting away about the old times. And Jimmy Tarbuck was in the summer season. Was doing the season down in Margate. And at the end of the summer, of his shows, you know, he'd been down there for months. They had a football match. The Lord Mayor's 11 were playing against the Jimmy Tarbuck 11. So Jimmy got 6 of the players from West Ham. Bobby Moore, myself, Frank Lampard. 6 of us went down there and played for the Lord Mayor's 11. He played for Jimmy Tarbuck's 11 against the Lord Mayor's 11. The Lord Mayor, he had all the Margate players. So they were good. They were a good team. And we had like 6 West Ham players. And then we had Tommy Steele, who was a great, you know, one of the top entertainers in Kenny Lynch, Jimmy Tarbuck. We had a mixed team, and it was a great game. We won it 5-4, and it was ankle deep mud. I'll never forget it. But it was about 4,000 people jammed into the state. It was unbelievable that they were hanging off the rafters there. You know, it was a great day out, and we raised money for the local charities and everything. But yeah, I'll never forget that was my big experience of going down to Margate Football Club.
Yeah, well, I can't. I don't want to talk too openly about all my experiences in Margate. There's a few fish and chips. I can remember vividly our end of season awards night in Margate, and I genuinely think that we stayed in the same B&B sort of one where they filmed The Only Fools and Horses. You know, the Beano they had in Margate. Honestly, it was an extraordinary place. But yeah, it was great times, to be fair. And you know, love football.
Went down there, Pete. I actually went down there about 4 or 5 weeks ago before this closed down and did a show there on the. I did a one-man show, theatre show last year. I did 40 theatres, and I just started this year. I was cutting down this year to 20, but my first show was at Margate about 4 or 5 weeks ago before this. We all got put in lockdown, so yeah, I slapped down to Margate for the night.
That's it's Great Britain's answer to Las Vegas, isn't it? To be fair, Margate.
Yeah.
Well, sticking on the football theme, obviously the world of sport is in a bit of turmoil at the moment. Myself, I was halfway through, almost all the way through our pre-season. We were just about to start our games. Obviously, all the football fans out there, especially Liverpool ones, are getting very twitchy at the moment about the decision. I believe the PFA are having a meeting today. How can you see the outcome, or what do you think is going to happen there?
Well, I'm hoping they finish the season. I'm hoping that whenever it is that the season gets finished, I'd like to see them finish this season before they start next season. I know it's difficult, and it may go on, but whether it's in July or whenever, August, if they could finish the season, if it means playing Saturday midweek, then that's not a problem. We used to do it all the time, didn't we? There was always Saturday midweek, Saturday games at one time. So I'm sure they can cope. They've got good, big enough squads now. And if they can take it on before they start next season, then I think that would be the way I'd like to see it end. I'd like to see the teams like Liverpool. They deserve to win the title this year. It would be an injustice if they don't. They've won it really anyway, haven't they? They just need to finish the matches, and then teams like Leeds and West Brom, whoever looking to come up. I think it would be great if we could put an end to it and finish the season.
Yeah, it certainly would. But there's sort of, as a Manchester United fan, there's a little bit in me that I was kind of hoping that if it did get sort of null and voided, there would be a tweet going out that would be something along the lines of, Ryan Giggs 11 titles, Paul Scholes 10, coronavirus 1, Steven Gerrard 0. I think
it's terrible. You're wicked.
I know it is terrible. No, they certainly They definitely deserve to win that title, sure, and it does.
I was with Alex Ferguson. Funny enough, Man United. I was with Alex Ferguson last week at Cheltenham, or 2 weeks ago. He looked in good health. It was great to see him looking so well. Pete, he looked very well, Fergie.
It's almost Harry. This is bizarre. It's almost like you've been sent my script and all my questions to ask you, because my next question is actually on the old horse racing. Because I told you on the phone, when I go to a horse racing event, I don't often get past the Guinness tent, but you're really passionate about your horses, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I love it. I prefer a day out at Wincanton, middle of the week, or, a track like that where it's quiet, midweek, proper good racing. I find, Cheltenham's incredible racing, but the big crowds and, Royal Ascot for me now is over the top. I go there because I love the racing. Really, I'm not going there for a social day out. But Alex was there, Fergie was there, and saying he looked in great. He loves his racing. He's as passionate about it as me. He's a big racing man. He had a runner in the Gold Cup last week. Actually, Paul Nicholls trained it for him. It ran reasonably well, but not as well as they hoped. I don't think so. But no, I love my racing.
Always a lot of pink slip ripped up and thrown in the bin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all
I used to have... Sorry, Pete, go on.
No, you carry on, Harry.
No, I used to have horses down. I trained horses down the West Country, further down. Down at Jimmy Frost, down near on the way to down towards Taunton, Torquay that way. But I've had, I've had horses all over the place. Really, I love my racing. In fact, I've got 10 horses now. Sandra's not in the room. She thinks I've only got one, Pete. I haven't actually told her about the other 9 yet.
I'm sure she'd let you off, mate. I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
But lost my train of thought there. Yeah, obviously you mentioned Sir Alex there. Obviously, I get the sense that a lot of the sort of what I would describe as legendary managers, you have a great camaraderie together. Did that ever was that the same way when you were managing together? Did you pick each other's brains? Was it quite an open environment, or did you yourself to yourself?
No, I'd always go in Fergie. We'd always with Fergie. I'd always go in his office before a game, 2:10. The teams would put the team sheet in. The players would go out for the warm up, and I used to go in there and have a cup of tea with him, watch a bit of racing on television. To be truthful, but we always got on well with him. But I think we all got on okay in them days. We were, mostly British managers, and we used to have things like the managers and coaches meeting up at Lillyshaw. It'd be about 8-9 days where we'd all go at the end of the year. Every manager, every first team coach would go, and we'd have an amazing time. There'd be sessions put on, and then at night we'd all end up in the pub having a drink, talking football. Probably more transfers got done in the pub after, than what they did anywhere else, But they were great times, and it was the camaraderie between all the managers in them days was amazing. I couldn't say it's the same now, because obviously we've got a lot more foreign managers in, and they probably and plus they probably don't come in for a drink like they used to. And also now with the media, at the end of a game now, you're being dragged off to do television. No sooner as you finish you talking to the players, and Sky want you, then BBC, ITV. You've got so many, then you've got a press conference. So by the time you finish that, the opposing team, unlike years ago when they had a coach to catch, they've now got a plane to catch, and they would be off on their way home.
Well, I know that from my experiences in cricket. Obviously, my career is over 20 years old now, and I can remember I reckon the first 5 or 6 years of my career, sort of late 90s, was very much in the old school, where you'd finish the day's play, you go down and have a couple of pints with the members and chat about the day's play, and you chat with the opposition. Yeah. And we get complaints from the members, you don't interact the same as you used to and all that kind of stuff. But, half the guys are in ice baths and having massages. The whole world of sport really changed like that, hasn't it?
Changed, but I mean, we'd play away from home. You get the guy on the coach, and then the highlight of the day was the fish and chips on the coach on the way home, wasn't it? You'd order the fish and chips. One of the coaching staff would order the fish and chips. He'd go out on a recce while you were the kit man or whoever it was. They'd, and order the 20 cod and chips, 4 chicken and chips, or whatever you were all having for the coach on the way home. And off you went. And then you had a 4 or 5 hour coach journey back. I remember going to Newcastle on a Friday, managing West Ham. And it took us 7.5 hours to get to Newcastle. And Paolo Di Canio saying to me, "Boss, this is crazy. We are supposed to be professional. We are 7.5 hours on a coach on a Friday, and you expect us to play football tomorrow. This is incredible. In Italy, this doesn't happen. This is crazy." And then it changed. He was probably right, sitting there 7.5 hours on that coach to Newcastle. Then suddenly you've got it now.
The cricket.
You still do that.
Yeah, we still do pretty long journeys the day before.
Durham and all them places,
Durham,
I suppose.
Taunton to Durham's an absolute killer. I mean, we've started to. In a couple of years, we've flown up. It actually takes long. By the time you've waited for 2 hours in the airport, flown up, you've got a bus from Newcastle to Durham. You're into 7-8 hours anyway. It's an absolute night.
I mean, last year, 18 months ago, Arsenal actually flew to Bournemouth. Arsenal played Bournemouth and they flew. I mean, that's really, from London to Bournemouth, it's an hour and 45-minute journey on a coach. They flew. Landed at Herne Airport. On the on a bus at the airport, the coach waiting for them, straight to the football ground, 10 minutes away. And after the game, back on the coach, straight to the airport, and off they went.
Different gravy, this football nowadays, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, different level, yeah.
Well, Harry, just one question I'd really like to ask you. I've played with some cracking cricketers in my time. I know when I saw you down in that hotel in Southampton years ago, you made a beeline for Trez and had a good chat about the old 2005 Ashes. Played with some great players, but I've always been interested from a football perspective of what you as a manager want from a player. Is there a player that you've either wanted to take from club to club, especially, or is there a character trait that you really want in your captain or that the bloke that you want your players to follow?
We're all looking for that captain, Pete. I don't know where they are now. There's not many around now. That leader, the John Terry or someone of that stature, Tony Adams, they were incredible leaders on the football pitch. Very, very difficult to find now. I don't think we don't seem to be producing too many of them talkers, leaders, that you could talk to about what you wanted, have a meet with the captain. When you look at Arsenal, you look at the captains they're coming up with. I mean, they're not captains, really. They're not people you'd ever thought about being a captain of a football club years ago. But that's the shortage now. So that has changed an awful lot. But I did have a tendency to take people around with me from club to club because I knew what they were and what they would give me and how they worked and what good lads they were and good professionals. So I always felt comfortable knowing what you're getting when you take someone that you work with. And until you work with someone, as you know, every day, you don't really know them. But when you see them at first hand on the training pitch and then on a Saturday, and you think, and then you move somewhere, you think, I'll take him, he'll be good for me, I'll take him with me. I mean, I took Crouchy a lot. Crouchy was always a great lad, good professional, good player. I had people like Jermaine Defoe. I knew he'd always score goals for me. People like that always got ribbed about taking Nico Cranchaw everywhere. Nico Cranchaw was a good footballer, and I enjoyed having him around. He could really play. But, yeah, I think you feel comfortable with people and you know their abilities and the way they are, and they're going to be good in the dressing room and good players because yourself, Pete, the dressing room is all important.
It certainly is. Yeah, I actually blame iPhones for the lack of communication in dressing rooms. The banter, has definitely changed. You look around a dressing room, 10 minutes before kickoff, everyone's got their faces in their phones instead of that usual chat. And it's a shame, really. I think it's a shame how it's changed.
I mean, when you talk about playing, when I grew up, Pete, at West Ham, I mean, we had a team of cricketers and footballers. We had Jim Standen was our goalkeeper. Jim played for Worcester when they won the county championship that year. Then came back and played for West Ham in goal all season. But we had a team. I was talking to somebody the other day, a fellow who played with me called Eddie Presland. Eddie played for Essex. And we were talking about Bobby Moore. And he played at school with Bobby, Eddie, in the same schoolboy team, Essex school cricket team. And he said Morrow could have captained England at cricket. He was that good. He said to me, Bobby could have captained England and Essex. He said he was the most fantastic batsman, incredible cricketer. And he went on, obviously, But we used to play games in the summer, Pete. We would go out and play charity all through the summer. We'd play charity games. And we had an incredible cricket team. Every one of them was at Surrey. Budgie Byrne played for Surrey. There was about 8 of them. They were all county cricketers. So I didn't get in that team. But I always used to be there on a Sunday for the social and we'd take our wives. But we'd play teams like Ilford, who were a good team, just below county standard. And West Ham would give them a game because we had incredible cricketers.
Yeah, it's great. I love that. The mixed stories. Obviously, Dennis Compton's probably the most famous of the footballing cricketers.
What a player! What a batsman! What a batsman, Dennis Compton. Incredible batsman. Played for England. Played for Arsenal. Middlesex, amazing man.
Yeah, that's not the worst CV in the world, is it, Harry? Well, I will let you get back to your isolation day. It's been an honour to have you in the Clubhouse, Harry. Hopefully when the situation's over, I can maybe pop down and say hello to you in person. That'd be fantastic. But
love to see you, Pete, and good luck to your boy. Your boys, tell me your boys at Southampton doing well.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. I think he's probably lurking at listening to you. Yeah, he's doing really well, actually, Harry. He's a nice lad.
I'd say one thing. When you talk, I mean, you know, you've been a top pro, great pro at your game. But when you see, I saw people like Frank Lampard. Oh, I saw Frank Lampard. I've never in my life seen anybody want to be a footballer as much as he did and train. I used to look out of my window at Chadwell Heath. I'd look across the training ground, middle of winter, raining, dark, getting dark, 4 o'clock in the middle of winter. He'd be out there with a bag of balls, left foot, right foot, 20 yards from goal, bang, bang, collect the balls. He'd have his spikes on, doing his sprints every day, never missed a day. Wanted to be a footballer at 16, train, practice. And look what he became, because he wasn't the most talented out of that group. I had an incredible group of kids: Rio Ferdinand, Michael Carrick, Jermaine Defoe, Glenn Johnson, Joe Cole. And Frank made himself into such a, 107 caps, 108 caps, whatever he got for England, But he made himself into that player, by practicing and working at his game. Incredible. That desire.
Yeah, certainly what I try to instill in the lads. They're doing the same sort of training program in the gym we've got at home. Take them over the local field, kicking the balls around. But there's one thing that the new generation has that sort of gets in the way of everything, and that's this thing called bloody Fortnite. If you can get them off Fortnite, the world will be his oyster.
It's too cool. I wouldn't understand how to play that, Pete. I'm too old for Fortnite.
Yeah, trust me, you're better off with your dog walks than playing that rubbish.
Keep
honestly,
him out
Harry.
there, keep him practicing, Pete. Keep him practicing. You can be his agent in years to come. You can retire.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Good,
One day, Harry. I'd rather chat to legends like yourself, that's for sure. But Harry, it's been, like I said, an honour. You're an absolute credit to football, and wish you all the best. Keep yourself safe, and hopefully see you when all of this is over. I'll come and see.
Hurry up, get the cricket back on again. Get you out playing.
Yeah. Cheers, Harry.
Cheers, Pete. Bye, mate. Bye. God bless. Bye.
Thank you very much for tuning into that. I hope you enjoyed our little chat with Harry Redknapp. Please click the link, subscribe, and keep in touch with all the sporting legends we'll be talking to. Thanks a lot.